she wrote a book on how to be a wag. I didn't know what a wag was until now, dude. This shit ain't right, dude. She's a succubus. You gotta run away, bro. Hot girls are a dime a dozen. We'll get you one, we'll get you ring girls, we'll get you two at the same time, bro. You gotta pull the ripcord.
Perfect.
One, I kind of just came up on, but I was like, it's an interesting story, man, because, you know, we both rock with MMA. We both fans of the UFC. There's a UFC fighter. His name is Ian Machado Garry, and he's married. He got a kid. And he kind of became the target of Sean Strickland.
That name sounds familiar.
Oh, he's the dude that gave Israel Adesanya the business in that last fight.
Oh, okay, yes. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He's the new champ or whatever. And I heard about this, and I'm like, all right, maybe they about to fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this was out of pressure, because he got disrespectful. Started talking about Ian Garry's wife. Now, he got on live, and he started talking about it. I'll give you a little backstory. Ian Garry's wife is a little bit older than him. Ian Garry, I think, is like 26, and she's in her 40s.
Okay.
She's also wrote a book, and I want to get the year right. Let me see. 2010.
Okay.
It is called How to Be a Wag. Are you familiar with the term wag?
Nah.
Wife and girlfriends. It means like of athletes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there might have been a TV show about it.
So how to be a wag of athletes or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think when they use the term wag, it's in reference to athletes.
Got you.
So yeah, How to Be a Wag. Written in 2010. So it looks a little weird. It looks like she wrote this book. She bagged herself up a young athlete on the rise and got pregnant by him. You know what I mean? It's looking crazy. Now, Sean Strickland this is where Sean Strickland comes in. He goes, "Hey guys, I never talk
about anybody's spouses, but this ain't right. It ain't right. I gotta talk about it." Ian Garry, I remember when I met you, dude. It was in New York. You were this fine ass girl. She had the little nipple coverings. We all seen it, right? Everybody seen it. But I remember thinking to myself, there ain't something right about that girl. There's something about that woman that ain't right. The way she walked, the way she looked, the way she talked. I knew it. And now I'm finding out you're 26. She's 40. The ex-husband lives with you. You took the last name. Mother, she wrote a book on how to be a wag. I didn't know what a wag was until now, dude. This shit ain't right, dude. She's a succubus. You gotta run away, bro. Hot girls are a dime a dozen. We'll get you one, we'll get you ring girls, we'll get you two at the same time, bro. You gotta pull the ripcord, man. It ain't right, my friend. You gotta pull that ripcord. I'm here for you, then making news here for you. Do the right thing.
And they're not fighting?
They're not fighting. I was like, yo, they must be. Maybe I don't even think they're in the same division. They're in the same weight class.
Damn. So the ex-husband lives with them?
So the wife spoke out. The wife, I'll show you. She's not a bad looker. Not a bad looker. You want to check her out? That's her. I think she works in television.
Okay.
Yeah, she's not a bad looking lady.
Definitely,
you know what I
mean?
Not. Got that milfy quality about her.
Certainly.
She came out and she was like, all right, cool. Now, this is where I think they kind of messed up, because you can't give them too much response when you respond to shit. And she goes, she denied that the ex-husband lives with them, but the ex-husband is Ian Garry's nutritionist.
Okay.
So it's weird. It's a little weird just to start out with.
That's crazy, but okay.
Also, I think that he did take her last name, which is the ex-husband's last name. She never changed her last name, right? Now, but listen. The logic behind it is he has a kid with her, and he didn't want the kid to have a different last name and then feel like stepbrother, kind of half brother type of thing. He wanted it all to be like you know what I mean? Y'all are the same. So I don't know if I would have went that route.
I respect it. I can't even get mad at that.
So she came back and she said, I wrote a book called How to Be a Wag. Now, that statement itself is a bit of a stretch. I can hardly call myself an author of an 11-page, Audible-only satire story that was written in 2010.
Oh, so it's only 11 pages?
And it's an Audible thing. You ever like one of them like Amazon books? That's anybody, you know what I mean, can publish?
Yeah.
But most people ain't gonna go read the book. They just gonna see the cover and run with the story. You know what I'm saying? Now, context is key. This is back to her quote. Context is key because that was during the FIFA World Cup when I was working with OK Magazine and various different gossip magazines. We were creating this hilarious satire. Look at wives and girlfriends in football. That's what WAG stands for. It has nothing to do with age, and I wasn't 40 then, was I? If you want to call me an author for that, sweet. I think of it more of a lighthearted podcast, but it was well ahead of my time. The satirical look is, if you listen to it, really silly. Anyone who takes that as fact completely missed the mark. Lo and behold, sarcasm isn't taken well, especially with an American audience. See, I think she's trying to get a little jab in there, like we don't.
So
understand
she's not American?
No, I think she's got like an English accent. I believe it. Some bullshit things people are saying. Have been saying that my ex-husband lives with us. No, he doesn't. No, he never has. You're completely making that up. Long story short, she goes on. So Ian Garry now comes out talking about he might sue you. He might sue Sean Strickland. He comes out because Sean Strickland released the messages saying you're just making that up, inventing it completely. Excuse me. He said, and if you choose to continue to spread it without knowing from the source, excuse me. Let me try this again. And if you choose to continue to spread it, knowing from the source is not true, then you're partaking in harassment and defamation of character. Smart move would be to take it down. And then Sean Strickland just went off. He's like, you're going to sue me, motherfucker. I ain't lying. He's like, you are 26. She is 40. She wrote a fucking book on how to be old and with a young athlete. I ain't fucking lying, bro. This is factual. They go on. It goes back and forth. Respect or speculation. I got a little speculation. I'll speak up on this one. I don't, unless you fighting. If you was fighting, it's fair game. Bring it up, bro. Sell the fight. But why would you care so much about another dude's relationship like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't give it. And if you was really friends, this ain't the way you gonna go about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see me in a fucked up.
They have to have a history.
Something gotta be going on behind the scenes. Why would you just? It's crazy, bro. Yeah, or maybe something happened that we don't know about, or something like that. But like, it seems a little weird. Like. Even as my friend,
that's very personal.
I've had close friends that have been in fucked up relationships. Like, you see me in a fucked up relationship, you kind of like you concerned, but you can only be in it but so much. You ain't gonna do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, bro. But also have speculation for suing people in the fight game. I think Logan Paul and Dillon Danis, when their last fight was coming up, Dillon Danis said a lot of things about Logan's fiance. She has dated some celebrities in the past, and he kind of like made it real hyperbolic, like she done been around the industry and everything. And he released some videos that they want to sue him for. That they said, like, you got that through illegal means. We didn't put that out for the public to see. Of her just talking shit. But basically, like, I think that's corny in the fight game. One, because Dillon Danis really sold that fight. I don't think anyone really cared about the fight before Dillon Danis started doing that in the Logan Paul situation. But it's like, let people talk shit.
So he really sued him?
I think they are still in the process of doing it. But, I mean, Dillon Danis wants to fight. He got his ass whooped. He barely did anything in the fight. But I'm like, leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? To add this now, you talk shit about me.
In the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Like, to add this, we want to be litigious. Part of it is a little much. But I can also see if Sean Strickland's like, yo, we was fighting, cool. We ain't got nothing on the books. Like, what we talking about here?
So I think once you start to involve like wife, now that's just a completely different ball game. And so I don't know these people's situation, but maybe in terms of the litigation piece, they felt they had to do that, to protect their woman's name, make their woman feel better. Ian Garry and Strickland, they're not going to fight. So, I mean, it just would have been, if he ends up suing him, he'll never be able to get any type of revenge against him unless he sues him.
Or goes down a weight class or whatever just to do that.
And then Logan Paul's situation, I guess he just could have waited till they got in the ring and did what he did. But I don't know. Yeah.
I think Logan Paul's situation was that Dillon Danis was taking it to that point where he was trolling really good. It was like niggas was like, we didn't know you was this good with the keyboard, bro. This is next level. Like his followers went.
You could quit your day job in MMA and do this shit.
I'm quite sure he didn't have 1 million followers before that on X, and now he does now. Speaking of Dillon Danis, he decided he wanted to get into discourse and released a text message with Ian Garry's wife from 2018, I believe.
Saying what?
So basically, she you can't see where the conversation started, but the first thing you see from her are like the praying hands, like thank you, kinda. He goes, "Where are you from?" She goes, "England, but half Brazilian." And she goes, "How are you today?"
Damn, she even sexier now.
He goes, Brazilian chick with an English accent. That is crazy. He goes, "Very cool, doing great. Where do you live?" Right, and then you can see there's more underneath. So then he goes, the next, like a couple hours later, he goes, "Should I release the rest?" And let me go check it now, because Dillon Danis. Let me just check my guy.
Oh, this dude is good.
But he ain't got nothing to do with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just gonna inject himself into some shit going on.
He's smart, man. He know going viral get you some bucks.
Oh, it already has for him. Nah, he doesn't put anything else out. That was the last thing he did he left it at that. But that's corny too. Like, that's another thing that I think I see a weird trend of, like, trying to wife shame. Dudes are acting real feminine nowadays, in my opinion. Like, it used to be that you used to be worried as a male artist or a male celebrity that you might do some dirt or something from your past might come up. Now, as a female, you got to be worried about that, because people are going to bring up 2018. People are going to bring shit before you met your husband. You know what I'm saying? Like, what that got to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? And if you're not in the fight game, it's fair game, but it's like, you just happen to marry somebody. You just happen to fall in love with someone that happened to be in this dirty sport. I think that's a little corny. But
I think personally, wife and kids should be, off the table. Let's, keep it between us.
Jay-Z Nas, I think that changed the game. That was like the 9/11 of dissing like people's wives and ex with baby mamas. For real, I think it was fair game to anybody. I feel like I'm trying to think. Never really seen people like it's the real WWF now. Remind me of like Macho Man and Elizabeth. Like, people always used to try to come at Elizabeth or say some funny shit, you know what I'm saying? And that was the only place you really seen someone be that bold.
What do you think, was Elizabeth really his woman in real life? I
think she was for a certain amount of time. I think she was with Lex Luger when she died. Yeah. Okay. But I think he moved on by that point. I think they broke up while he was still pretty popular. But
they were together for.
I think that was his woman at one point. Okay. Yeah. And then they just had to. I think they might have even kept it going after they weren't together anymore, but just the persona. But yeah, it's I'm happy though, because the UFC is turning into that part of the WWF, because they're realizing you have to have personality to sell fights. Yeah, you can't. It's like the talent can do. I didn't know who the fuck Ian Garry was. And supposedly he's mad talented. I didn't know who the fuck he was before this.
Yeah, some fighters don't. They don't
promote. Right. They don't know how to do the social media game. You know what I mean? It takes talent. It takes a certain personality. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to do it. And the Israel Adesanyas are seeing it. Obviously, the Conor changed the game of everything with that. So it's just like they're saying you have to have.
Well, something. if you want the big bucks, like, you don't technically have to, but if you want to get paid, you need to.
Or skip the line.
Because
it's not like UFC has a real ranking system.
No, they don't.
Like
you could be 8 and get that title fight.
Exactly. You just have to have
the buzz is big enough.
Yep, exactly. Or your last fight, you could lose a fight and still go up. You know what I'm saying? So, it's gonna be interesting. What's good, Josh? Your guy DJ Playboy holding it down, man. Thank you for checking out this short clip of the Perfect Talk podcast. If you like what you see, man, go check out the full episodes right there. Also hit that subscribe button, turn them notifications on, pop in the comments, baby. We holding it down. Let's get it.